I am I am live. Um man, now I have no idea what I'm doing. But we have callers? What are callers? Start taking callers. So what do I do with that? I don't the caller queen or queue is closed. Alright. that is so cool. Okay, but then yeah, how do you take callers? All right, cool. You guys can see me, even though I don't know how it looks on YouTube, but like this is like my face at the moment. Um, man, what a time to have my internet go down and I can't even access it to restart the freaking box. Um, the one time where I'm like, yo, let's watch some wrestling, let's break it down and whatnot, and let's talk about stuff. This is why content creation can be a little hectic and whatnot. And you know, luckily we have phones that can bring us live and whatnot. Like I don't know. Oh my god. Um. Okay. Uh. I want to try out the caller feature, but I have no idea how to freaking do that. I can leave a link to have people participate and whatnot, but that's about it. Um, but yeah, my internet's still down, still down, and I had wired too. It's not even like I was on Wi-Fi. Even the Wi-Fi is down too. So it's like, what the fuck? So now I gotta go off the top of my head to basically talk about the news, unless when people start coming into the chat, um, I could go off of you guys, but I know the gist of stuff. I just know that if I were to get out of the app, it's probably gonna mess everything up. Just for me to look at my notes because I wanted to go over some tweets, especially from Walker Stewart. Because like, man, dude, like in general, if you are a commentator, sometimes I really don't think that putting out divisive tweets, knowing how crazy the fan base can get, and that's a combination of like bots, burners, and maybe some real people, but they hold grudges and they don't really like certain people because they're told and what they see online, like they have to like not like this person or not like this wrestler. But I don't really think it helps when you try to put out storyline tweets when you don't know what's what or what's going down or whatnot, because you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna retell what happened in the ring. But you shouldn't be like name dropping the referee here and name dropping that, because you know how fans can get. um Man, if only I can like read it verbatim and give some more notes on it. Yeah, see, the thing goes out. Um, I don't know what. Wait, okay. Um, I did see AAA. I did see AAA, and I enjoyed AAA yesterday. Um, it's really good. The production wise is really good. Obviously, the guys have been doing this forever, so they made a name for themselves. So yeah. You know what I'm gonna do? I don't even know if you guys can still hear me. Just give me a second. Um, so in the Discord, I dropped the participation link if anybody wants to come on and chat with me, because this is mad weird that I don't have anything to be like, hey, let's talk about the things I wanted to talk about. Other than like, Konosuke being the winner of the G1. Like, people like to tell me and like to push back that Tony Khan doesn't have a hand in booking or influence, and it's like, well, maybe not Tony Khan per se, but because Rocky Romero has been around Konosuke a lot and certain people a lot, there's definitely a hand in that and an influence in that. Why would Konosuke be the person to win the G1? What value is that going to bring to New Japan Pro Wrestling? It's not going to bring any kind of value. It really isn't. Because it's like, bro, you just show up whenever like they have nothing for you in AEW. So it's like, why are you showing up in New Japan Pro Wrestling, all of a sudden just climbing to the top, beating people, and even beating the IWGP champion Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. should be the like pinnacle of like, you don't defeat the final boss, unless like it's for the title. But Konosuke had no problem doing that. Yet Jeff Cobb had a problem with beating Zack Sabre Jr. for the stupid NJPW World TV title. Like, that doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Um, but yeah, I really do think that he is protected, and I do think like the stupid ass news that came out yesterday, where somebody Voldemort had to, probably make up a story and maybe call up Tony Khan so that way this story can bury evil. Because I know everybody was complaining yesterday about, Evil going to the finals and why Evil was the pick and blah blah blah. And I know they were crying. I know Twitter was crying about it. Twitter has to grow some balls and stop crying about Evil. Um, I believe I know Hachi. I Can we just do auto? Just know, Hachi, you have mic your mic muted, and I'm trying to get you to come up. I think you might have to come up. Like, I have no idea. I do have it on auto, so like it should include you. I don't know, but we're gonna wait until like Hachi gets his stuff in order. Unless he sent me something. No, not yet. TK has a hand in New Japan. Just Sicko say Triple H has a hand. Oh, you're gonna listen? Okay, no problem, dude. But if you want to say something, I mean, you could just unmute if you want to. Um, Triple H has a hand. Tana and TNA and AAA, but to say opposite Tony Khan. Yeah. I think that I think that Triple H probably does have a hand in, helping out TNA and also helping out AAA in terms of like production wise, because, this is like the first time like I wanted to sit down and watch AAA. And the production was good, the camera cuts were good, the stories were just fun inside the ring. It was just fun. I didn't have to like really overthink it. I didn't really have to be like, oh my god, this or that or this botch or whatever, or this could have been worked on a little bit better here. But you could definitely tell there's a different atmosphere when it comes to AAA and whatnot. So yeah. But as far as like booking, I do think that like Triple H and everybody in the writers' room, or if they do like Zoom or whatever, I do think they have a good conversation about it to where like they could be like, oh well, what would be best for business? Like for a little bit, having um El Fantasma as the AAA tag team champions. That was really good. And then they lost it, so it's like it's not that bad. Yeah, WWE has definitely upped the production tenfold. Definitely, definitely, definitely. And that's what like I bring up. Like I usually don't like doing the let's criticize in a very constructive way of like New Japan and the AEW partnership and be like, oh, but this is what WWE is doing. You guys know I don't like the but WWE thing. Just because it's like I don't want to compare it to WWE, but when you have the leading standard of, what professional wrestling should look like on television, um, and even in pay-per-views, it's hard not to look up to that. It's the same way of like if you have your own, um, mentors and stuff like that. You're like, you look up to your mentors because you're like, I want to be at that level. I want to be at that high, good level. But sometimes, you want to carve your own path as well. AEW would have been carving their own path if like they would have stayed with maybe the vlogging feature. But it just seems like everybody over at AEW either wants to be protected so bad, wants to talk a lot of shit, and definitely give AEW any kind of publicity. It does not matter if it's good or bad. So again, I go back to the original point of like, what does Konosuke winning do for New Japan Pro Wrestling? To me, it does absolutely nothing because he's not homegrown. He did not start from the bottom. He did not start a mini little feud with one of the other wrestlers to build a character. There was a reason why a lot of the fans in the New Japan subreddit, which I was happy to see that there was a majority of them wanting Evil to win and not even Konosuke, and I'm not making that up. You guys can go directly to the NJPW subreddit and you'll see it in the comments. Most of them, a good majority of them wanted Evil to win. And even at the live event, and they could probably hear it on the speakers, the fans wanted Evil to win as well. And it's like, that tells you something. Why are you going against what the Japanese fans, the ones who pay the money to go and support New Japan Pro Wrestling on their G1 tour and like all over the island, why are you going against them to put somebody else that's not going to be there to carry the company while Evil has been there for years? Everybody has grown with Evil through his LIJ days and then like now with House of Torture and anything else before that. So they know who he is. Nobody knows who Konosuke is. Everyone in the comments are like, praising the hell out of Konosuke, but like, what is Konosuke's character other than being the alpha? In his promo, he said that, if you have a dream, go chase it. I agree with that. If you have a dream, go out there and go chase it and basically try to make it the best that you can, make it as and do what your heart tells you to do. However, he also said that he's grateful for winning and stuff like that, and he also said that you're gonna see nothing that you ever never seen before. Where have I heard that? I've heard that so many times that some wrestler, some person will be like, I'm gonna show you something you've never seen before. Um, what? What does that mean? So, what is Konosuke's character other than being the alpha and doing some really power moves and getting his shit in and basically making it all about him? There is nothing there's nothing that Konosuke does that we haven't seen before. But the AEW fans just want something to cling on to, and I don't want to go down the path where it's like asking the question, but then I guess that um, all questions are on the battlefield. But you know what? Let me not go down that path because that's not needed and it's very unnecessary to go down. But I mean, the fans that are clamoring for Konosuke, like it's a really huge tell. Like, why weren't you this supportive with Naito? Why weren't you this supportive with Ishii? Why weren't you this supportive with Okada before Okada went over to AEW and became a parody and just to say bitch because it sounds funny in his Japanese accent? And you guys parade that around as like, oh my god, it's the best thing ever. When it's like, yo, that's sort of a little racist. You just want Konosuke. I mean, I'm sorry, not Konosuke. I mean, it could go either way, but you just want Okada to be around AEW so he could say bitch, and you could be like, ha 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 ha. When if we were to turn on WWE and go back in the day and basically look at how they did the voiceovers for um, for SmackDown's number one announcer, Funaki, and you guys are gonna call that to be like, oh my god, that's so racist. Why would you dub his Japanese? Why would you do that? But in the same breath, Okada saying bitch in Japanese is totally okay for the AEW sickos. Like, you guys want the activism whenever it benefits you, but at the same time be like, oh, it's okay. Okada could do that. It's fine. Blah, blah, blah. It's AEW. AEW, you can't criticize AEW. And it's like, yeah, you can. You should. The same way that people end up criticizing WWE 24/7 and making it their personality and not understanding any kind of nuance or not understanding that, like, all businesses are shady and sometimes do questionable things. Whether the questionable things are right or wrong, it could still be considered questionable. But yeah, so like, how does Konosuke winning? How does that help New Japan Pro Wrestling? How does that help the AEW partnership if Konosuke is, don't even know what his character is? If you have to call yourself the Alpha, how can I believe that you are the Alpha? How can I do that? So you don't think there's a chance Konosuke is jumping from AEW? No, no, um, no. I will say this. Because Konosuke has 3 contracts. He has an AEW contract, he has a New Japan contract, and he has a DDT Pro contract. When the hell is he going back to DDT? I don't know. That's like way too many promotions on his plate anyway. But I do not think he's going to be making the jump from AEW to New Japan Pro Wrestling unless something happens with his visa and, like, work visa and like all that kind of stuff. If that might be the only reason to have him like go back to Japan, if like that ever runs out. But for him to jump to New Japan, no, because he said that while New Japan was his goal and his goal was to face Tanahashi, he already checked that off his bucket list. Because he checked that off his bucket list, there's no reason to go to New Japan Pro Wrestling, even though he's able to fight everybody, which he already fought everybody in a way. But another reason is that um, he'll be losing 1/3 of like his check if you think about it. So then he would have like 2 checks, one from DDT Pro and one from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it's sort of like, why would you give up AEW to jump over to New Japan Pro Wrestling? And then now that he won the G1, like, what is the point of him even becoming a full-time New Japan star if he's knocking out all of the big stuff meant for heavyweights? Like, that wouldn't make sense, Y2 Viral, thank you for heading over to YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. AEW ain't letting Konosuke go. I mean, it's not really up to AEW, it's up to the person essentially, and like what they feel comfortable with. But even if they did let him go, Konosuke is not gonna survive on his own. Well, he has both AEW and AEW and DDT. How would you be jumping if you work for both? It's more who you work for more. Yeah, that's true too. Yo, Lion, what's up? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, even if they did decide to let Konosuke go, I don't think that he would survive. He'll get bookings, and that's about it. But wrestling is more than your freaking match rate and work weight. You guys get to see the roof for a bit. Not really the roof, the ceiling. My phone is at like 44%, so I want to continue to do this. So I needed to charge. While I still have no internet at home. Um, but yes. Oh, okay. I thought watching the final that the crowd in the arena was behind Konosuke. The commentary was certainly propping him up as a savior and a babyface. Yeah, that's because commentating. Listen, man, for the commentators of New Japan, it changed ever since Kevin Kelly decided, well, had to leave and whatnot. Oh my God, this is mad weird. I'm holding my phone doing this shit. But commentators want you to believe that Konosuke is the baby face, when it's like, bro, just at this point you gotta treat it like AEW. Konosuke is whatever Konosuke is. He's neither a baby face or a heel. He doesn't know how to work as a baby face or a heel, and it's like, yeah, man, because you don't have a freaking character. I don't even know if I don't even know if he does promos in English. Because what Don Callis would be the talking man for most of his promos. So it's like Konosuke doesn't know how to be a babyface or a heel. At this point, you just got to call it. Um, I think they will let him hold the IWGP World Championship title for a few months, just like John Moxley. Man, if that happens, then just say that AEW, bought a stake in New Japan Pro Wrestling, man. Because again, work rate is one thing, but New Japan and Japanese culture rely on your body of work. Um, I wouldn't know what kind of benefit he would do for the company if he was IWGP champion. But then again, we have Zack Sabre Jr., who's IWGP champion, and I'm like, I don't know what value you're bringing to New Japan Pro Wrestling, Zack. Like, I don't know. Um, I just don't like when people push somebody that doesn't make any sense just because of work rate, and just because they really 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 want a different alternative to wrestling, and it's just wrestling matches. And again, I say this, if you wrestling matches, go out to your local wrestling promotion and pay $10 for the promotion, and you get wrestling, because every single month those wrestling promotions in your local state are not doing storytelling. I know from experience. I was half joking a couple nights ago how much TK paid New Japan Pro Wrestling to have Konosuke go over Zack Sabre Jr., but now I'm not sure if it's a joke. Nah, man. Nah, I would definitely think that Tony Khan wanted that to happen, because again, even though we say that Tony Khan has a hand in this, because I mean it's obvious. It could be him in the background, but also could be somebody else too that's like in everybody's ear, to be like, oh, this is good for the business, this is good for this is good for that. But if you're not thinking about long-term storytelling, then what is the point? The more matches that you win, great. But if there's not going to be a connecting story to where the payoff is, oh, this makes sense why such and such was winning at this particular time in this timeline, um, it's sort of like, if you're not doing that, then what's the fucking point? If you just want to be a wrestler, go enter into like collegiate wrestling. If you want to go to the UFC where it's just fight matches and you don't have to worry about picking up a mic and doing a promo, because wrestling is more than just like a headlock takeover, a push off. You go into the ropes, you bounce back, you do a wrist lock, you do big ass power bombs, and then you're like, yay, I get all my shit in. If you're not gonna treat wrestling as professional wrestling, where there is psychology, where there is a breakdown of what certain moves mean, and whatnot, then what is the point of being a wrestler if you're not gonna invest in everything else that makes wrestling very very unique? uh Zack Sabre Jr. winning the belt once again was questionable. That was questionable. I wasn't expecting him to win, but with the news of Goto being E Honda in the Street Fighter movie, I mean, I guess they had to make a judgment call, but it is what it is. I can see Konosuke going heel in New Japan Pro Wrestling and basically stating that America is better. He has a better life there. He makes more money there. That's true, but once you put out on social media that you propose to the love of your life, it's sort of like, oh, but you're so Japanese though. I don't know, man. I could see, if he didn't do that, um if he didn't do that, then yeah, I would be on board with him coming in saying that America is better, and there's a lot more values and open mindedness or whatever the fuck. This is a guy that paints his nails. So that'll be a story to tell if he was to be a heel. Um as soon as I come up as soon as I come here and put in effort, I'm now champ. Yeah, man, Yeah. Every match and championship win must have a story behind it. Yeah, I would say 90-10 on your comment Y2 Viral, that like I'm 90-10 with that. 10% being that like not every championship, well, okay, no, I can't, because if I say not every championship match should have a shouldn't have a story behind it, that's kind of wrong. But yeah, I'll go 90-10 on that. I do believe that matches and championship matches and like wins and stuff like that should have a story behind it. But then again, we did have CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre over a bracelet, and that was pretty fun, you know. So that's why I'm like 90-10. But I still agree with you. And Goto is the savior. He can recapture his underdog status quick and be the ultimate company man. Goto is 100% the ultimate company man. 100%. Um, he can shit on the Young Lion system and praise the American indie scene. Yeah. Now, see, if he did, now, okay, see, Hutch over here is speaking my language, man, for story, okay? Because I don't like Konosuke. I'll just say it right out. I don't like him because he has risen too fast in professional wrestling, and everyone is just really glazing the fuck out of him. I want to say something else, but you guys know what I mean. And he doesn't have a character. But something like that, where it's like the Lion system, right? The Lion system for New Japan Pro Wrestling is kind of slow. And you guys are just looking at my nose. The the Young Lion system is slow, and it works, but it doesn't always work. But if he shits on that, that's basically like a really good storytelling, because then like the Young Lions have something to prove against Konosuke. Konosuke could be that person, that like brick wall that's like, bro, you know, you should have like went on the indies, like you'll learn a lot of stuff faster. In the New Japan Lion system dojo, it's more about like repetition and tradition and more strict than anything else. You have to like have a foundation. But then again, I am for like a foundation, but I'm not for like overdoing the foundation of like doing 100 squats and continue to do 100 squats and to do the bar sort of push up that like they do, and like do all these constant exercises on a daily basis without like barely any rest. So you know, I do think that some stuff has to change for the Young Lion program. But I do think that like foundation is not bad, but shit, man, I don't know why you have to do 100 to 200 to like 1,000 fucking squats just so your body could get used to it. You can train, but you got to train smart, and you got to train for your body type, and you got to train also for knowing like who you can pick up, who can't you pick up, what can you do in wrestling, what can't you not do in wrestling. Like you shouldn't be agreeing to everybody's like spots if you're a wrestler. um so where does this leave House of Torture? Bro, I have no idea. Because House of Torture should have never lost, aka Evil should have never lost. Right now, we should be celebrating Evil as the winner of the G1, because that makes sense. The Golden Boy, who is protected by AEW and Rocky Romero, Konosuke, did not need the G1 win. Why did he need the G1 win? Why? I need someone to tell me in the chat or like at the VOD when you watch this. But I could tell you right now that like, you know, even the bots that come in and give me give me something, they are low IQ bots because they don't know anything else. Their interference makes me groan, but they are the heel faction and they just got wrecked in the G1 final. Man, um, what up, Blade Runner? He is wrestling for 15 years now and has nothing to show for it. If that comment of he is wrestling for 15 years now is for Konosuke, he has nothing to show for it. But the Young Lion system is superior. It is. It is. It's just that, you know, after a while, it's just like, bro, do you really need to do 1,000 squats in a day? especially if you're staying in the company for a career. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Where do Shota and Ren stand now? Man, Shota, listen, Shota had a very good story going, but somebody fucked it up. I'm not sure if it was Shota, I'm not sure if it was The Office, but Shota was trying to be this guy of like, hey, I no longer want to be in the shadow of John Moxley. Where did that go with John Moxley? Nowhere. And like nothing happened after Wrestle Dynasty to where, they continued it, and that's so sad. Here's Shota crying out for like a really good story against John Moxley, and here's Tony Khan just sitting there not paying attention, and John Moxley not paying attention. I thought John Moxley was for wrestlers. I thought he wanted to help out wrestlers. I thought he wanted to help out AEW, except for helping out his own pockets and bleeding every fucking time. But Shota over here is crying out for a good story, doesn't get answered, shaves his head, wants to move away from the John Moxley gimmick, the roughneck gimmick, and also try to move away from feeling and looking like and being similar to Tanahashi, even though all of the girls and all of the young kids like scream for his name whenever he comes out, and he's such a good babyface that he wanted to find his own version of like Shota Umino, but then ended up going back to the fucking shit he was doing before. And I called it. And I so called it, and I made a video about it, and people got upset. Well, people are always going to get upset whenever I say something true about New Japan Pro Wrestling and wrestling, because I've been watching this for so long. I work in the business. Like, I can see this from a mile away. And it's like, who told Shota Umino to go back to babyface Shota Umino when he could have been a really good heel, someone finding himself, someone like tripping into darkness and trying to find who the true Shota Umino is, and could have had like a year-long run, could have held championship titles, not that never open weight championship title, because they need to change that, because we no longer need that right now. Don't even hold the NJPW world title, and hold maybe the global title. But yeah, man, Shota, Ren Narita is an amazing wrestler. He is so sly, he is so great. And he's also a very manipulative wrestler that I love what they do with Ren Narita, but I don't know where they go from here. Somebody on the New Japan Reddit said that, if they were to ever kick out Evil out of House of Torture, Ren should be like the next person to like lead or like be the person to do it. But Ren Narita is one of the best ones that I really enjoy watching. Um uh Konosuke can flaunt his money and choices and ease of success in his Japan return, and bam, instant story for anyone who wants to stand up. Exactly. ELP can talk about how Japan gave him valid, valid. Anyone with a strong connection to New Japan can step up. Yeah, man. Because Tony Khan wants to have the current G1 champion winner be the guy on his roster. It's more to fuel his wants overall. Hey, the broken one, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't Sometimes I don't think that, but yeah, I do think that he just wants it all on like his bucket list, so that way he can be like, look what I did. You didn't do shit, dude. Um, well, that's your problem. Who has Moxie elevated? Nobody. Moxie has not elevated anybody. Lion says that he met Megan Bain last night. Congratulations. How was that? Who are the baby faces in New Japan Pro Wrestling now? I don't see any, and that's a huge problem. Uh, Off the top of my head, I want to say that we have Drilla Maloney. I believe he became a babyface. It feels like he became a babyface. I think I don't want to say David Finlay, but I did notice that David Finlay brought out two more people to join Bullet Club War Dogs, and I'm like, bro, what are we doing here? Babyface, babyface, babyface. ELP is a babyface. Schultz is a babyface. Um, Anybody from Hontai, which is Hontai, not hentai, guys. So Hontai. Anybody from Hontai is a babyface. So like your Godos, your Yoshihashi, Tanahashi, uh, whoever else joined. Um, Taichi is a babyface. Uh, that's as best as I can think off the top of my head. There's baby faces. It's just, it's not defined like how it used to be. Um, hey Roxy, what's up? Great show. Always walking away with tons of insight. I try my best, Roxy. Thank you so much for being here. I met Megan Bain. She's nice, and we talked for a bit. That's fantastic, Lion. Fantastic. Um, So, just so you guys know, you guys made it this far in like 35 minutes of me just talking. Originally planned, it was supposed to be through like OBS and whatever, but my internet is down, so I'm using my phone. So, a point for, what is it? Smartphones. So originally it was going to be me talking about this and also showing you like tweets and stuff and going over tweets and going over this, going over that. I had like a whole freaking plan. And then over here on Rumble, we were going to watch the wrestling matches. Unfortunately, I can't do that over on YouTube because YouTube is very strict with that. So over on Rumble, I was going to watch the wrestling matches and break it down because if you guys are new here or you're just passing by, I'm Marie Shadows, the host and the creator of the Square Circle podcast. And I'm also the host and the creator of the Tape Study series where we watch professional wrestling matches and I break it down and I tell you guys all the info about, wrestling moves and like why, a wrist lock can be considered, a dangerous thing and the psychology in the matches, the stories in the matches. Like I break down everything so that way we can improve the wrestling business just a little bit more and leave it just a little bit more. So if you like that, I'm over at Rumble, Marie Shadows. You can find me over there. But I wanted to do this because I was like, hey, I want to do a live stream. But then the internet is down. But luckily for phones, and we get to answer questions and stuff. But that's for you guys to know. The Broken One says, I'll make a prediction. Another reason Konosuke won the G1 is for Tony to somehow make some weird booking plan for AEW later on. Yeah, I would. Yep, I would go with that. But all those faces you named are either too old at this point or just in the middle of the pack. There is no top line face who could lead New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, you got me there, man. Like you got me there. Cause I mean, yeah, I don't know if I want to say the Great O'Khan. The Great O'Khan, I don't know if he's a babyface. We have, what is it, Jacob Austin Young, something like that, in the United Empire. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any baby faces. Any top baby faces and like any young baby faces. I'm still pissed how TK cut the legs out of New Japan after Wrestle Kingdom. Oh my god. Uh Man, and then he didn't take responsibility for having the low ticket numbers for Wrestle Dynasty. And then people online wanted to tell me that Wrestle Dynasty was not a TK production, and yes, it was. It was a TK and AEW production. Wrestle Dynasty was, but the narrative got switched quietly very quickly, and I'm like, man, um, Gabe Kidd should be a top face in New Japan right now. He was set up perfectly with that Omega story. Then TK backed up a dump truck. Gabe Kidd does it for the paycheck. Like if he came out and said that, I'll be like, okay, I respect you again because you came out and said what's really happening, because it doesn't make any sense to join AEW and to join the Death Riders when you are supposed to be number two at a soldier in Bullet Club War Dogs. Makes no sense. No sense at all. No sense. Um, no sense whatsoever. Um, cool. What else is there for me to talk about? Because I don't have anything up in front of me at this very moment. And we're like 40 minutes in when I wanted to do like a 3 hour. Is it like a 3 hour? Probably like a 3 hour live stream. Yeah, I wanted to do like a 3 hour live stream. Um, I have no idea how this thing works, and I wanted to try the callers, but I guess I can't. I can't do callers on Rumble, but I can have people join if they want to like come up and talk. But um, all this talker Tony tells me that he really thinks he a good booker and is on par with Antonio Inoki's booking skills. If he could be owner of New Japan tomorrow, he would. Yeah, he would definitely. Yeah, yeah, he would gleefully be that. Um, what have I thought of Zack Sabre Jr.'s time as champion? Lackluster. Like all of my other podcast episodes that talk about Zack Sabre Jr., I'm like, what do you bring? What do you offer? Like what else do you do other than like the British personality and the British slang and the British like everything? What else do you do other than like, submission and whatnot? It's the same formula that Zach does in like every single match and whatnot. And it's like I don't understand how people are behind him. Now, as a wrestler, I'll give him his flowers as a wrestler because I do like technical wrestling. However, when I've seen it so many times, and then when you try to get a one over on Jeff Cobb, it's like, bro, you are tiny. And you're always like crawling after the match when your opponent is walking out. Like, this wasn't, it didn't make the person sweat. But I don't really know what to say about Zack Sabre Jr.'s time as champion because I don't know, man. He's just like, oh, I won the championship title. That's it. Um, Sometimes this is why like production meetings are necessary, and also conversations are necessary to be like, this is the direction that we're looking to go into, this is what we need you to do, this is going to be your next opponent, these are like the talking points and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to guide wrestlers because wrestlers don't know how to be a champion and don't know how to lead. So you need somebody there to be like, hey, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. It can't just be like, oh, he's champion. He's going to this media thing, but we're not making a big deal out of it. Or like, it doesn't feel like a big deal kind of thing. Talk about BS of Osmos. Uh, being taken away from Noah and dumping a belt and damaging the company only to show up here 8 months later. Omos. Oh my god, my brain, man, my brain. So about that, I guess we could pivot. We should pivot. So yeah, as you guys know, WWE has sent over Omos to Pro Wrestling Noah because they have the partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah. He was doing great. He had a championship title over there. However, I do think that maybe part of the reason why he had to abruptly leave and like give the title back or to one of the members is because of um is because maybe visa problems. That was the only thing that I could think of. That it could just be a visa problem. Because whenever you get like a work visa, you only have a certain amount of time sometimes that you apply for, and that could have been an issue. And then coming over and then coming back to the States, and then showing up at AAA to win that AAA Cup, and I was like, I don't know if that was a good choice. Just because of like, it's on home turf. Like, why would you have Omos win the big cup? Unless you do a story where like, the Mexican wrestlers, the luchadors are all like, yo, we can't have this. So we all got to go and team up together and take out Omos and like get that cup back. But yeah, um, such selfish fuckery. The king may rule the kingdom, but a benevolent and kind king is loved and lasts. WWE needs to be fans sometimes for it's also clinical. Yeah, but WWE is also a business. So it's like 50-50. I don't know, man, but I get it. I get where you're coming from, Hutch. Um, I love Zack Sabre Jr. I think he needs to be in other companies like All Japan and Dragon Gate, and maybe WWE even for a few events like PLEs. Zack Sabre Jr. works best as a cocky heel, but with the lack of top faces, it seems like they have tried to force him into a tweener role. I don't think anyone is telling Zack Sabre Jr. what to do or like how to react to the other wrestlers to try to be in a tweener role. I just think Zack Sabre Jr. does what Zack Sabre Jr. does. He doesn't really care or give a shit. Um, I don't know. Imagine Zack Sabre Jr. in WWE again, because he was in the Continental Classic. No, that's freaking AEW. Um, the Cruiserweight Classic. There we go. I think he was in there like a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, Zach, man, like I don't know. If he goes to All Japan, I guess cool. If he goes to what was the other one you said? Um, Dragon Gate, I think it'll be cool. If he does show up in WWE, I mean, put him against Gable. Listen, I know that WWE can smash any visa issue, but sometimes there's roadblocks, even if they can, you know. Um, listen, just because WWE is like the global juggernaut of things doesn't mean like they can always get issues resolved. Yeah, it was good to see Omos too. I wasn't expecting it. I think the Omos appearance means he is returning to WWE soon. A whole new crowd just saw him. Yeah, that could be a possibility. Yeah, it's business. They need to be fans sometimes. Yeah. It's the little things like dropping belts and not letting people finish up indie dates. Stuff like that stings and damages goodwill. Man, I have been dealing with that and seeing that on the indies so many times. Sometimes promotions just don't care. So yeah, sometimes they don't care. Um, let me see if my internet is back up. I don't think so, but it doesn't hurt to refresh my stuff. It really doesn't. But I would have really liked to try this callers feature. I would. I'm still offline, man. Okay. Um, that really sucks. Otherwise, Zack Sabre Jr. will always be in Japan for wrestling since he has a house there. Even the AEW money has helped pay off whatever other expenses he had, especially if he put it away for retirement. Zack Sabre Jr. doesn't seem like the type of guy to go out and explore his options. Like, he's just very content. Can Vikingo win back the AAA crowd? It's not his fault they turned. He got caught up in the WWE. Uh, is that why they were booing him? Because he got caught up in that. But then again, I don't know the consensus, okay, of the Mexican fans of Lucha Libre. I don't know the consensus if like all of them together, like the majority don't like Alberto Del Rio being back in some capacity in wrestling, or they have forgiven him, or it could just be a few vocal people that are just like I don't like him. But I will say that the booze was evident against Vikingo, and I was like, wow. But I do know that like in the past, Vikingo and AAA just had like problems, and then he'll get booze. I don't know what like Conan had said. I really don't remember, but I know Conan has talked about the issues that Vikingo has and AAA has and whatnot. But was it because of that? Um, yes, the crowd loved El Patron. When it was learned that WWE didn't want him there, they started booing him. That is that is weird. That is okay. That's news to me. Um, And it's only like news to me because I'm like, I don't know why that would affect people. I don't know why that would affect people. Um, what else? Other than like AAA, AAA was good, like I said. Um, I saw the event where he took the belt from El Patron and the crowd was behind him. The crowd sees Vikingo as the WWE Corp guy. Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot that he took the belt back from him. Okay, and then yeah, I can see that Vikingo can be a WWE corporation guy. But then again, nobody was saying that when Vikingo showed up on like AEW. So I don't, that's also something to think about. It's just something to think about. Um, I wish that there was a way to like fix this camera because it's weird that it's in like this and not damn vertical, but it is what it is. Cross theories, I don't know. You guys might not like if I say, well, I'm probably gonna say it that I respect Karrion Cross. Karrion Cross does a lot of good grassroots organic content and storytelling and whatnot, but Karrion Cross is not my kind of wrestler. Like, it's slow, it's methodical. I like that sometimes, but sometimes I also like the other side of wrestling storytelling where, like, it could be a little soap opera-y, a little, like, storytelling, a little bit more crumbs to get me to be, like, satisfied in a way, to be like, hey, all right, cool, we're going in a good direction. I do think that they messed up the really good story that Cross could have had by losing to everybody because, like, to me, when he was doing that, when he was losing to certain types of people that he was feuding with, it was to bring out their heel side. And I think, like, after he gets his victims, so to speak, in kayfabe, that he would he would form a team and have a team, and that team could go against the Wyatts. That team could go against Cody Rhodes and be like, listen, man, we don't need a squeaky clean baby face at the top of this company. It's guys like you, the baby faces that have been holding me down and blah blah blah, that kind of deal. Like, I would have liked to see the story of Cross losing, all the guys that he lost to come over to his side, form a big ass faction, and take over WWE until, like, I don't know, the baby faces come together and, like, it's one big clash, it's one big Avengers storyline coming together. But I just don't. I mean, I respect Cross. I just don't. I don't vibe with it. If that makes sense. Uh, does indie contract say that have finished up their dates or CMML on their dates or contract say that finished up dates? Stephanie Becker was there on CMML contract. Um, it depends because when you have an indie contract, um, when you have an indie contract that's from a decent promotion that would give you a contract, because when you're on the indie scene, you are basically doing it for a hot dog and a handshake and hoping that you'll show up next month. So there's different types of indies. So when we talk about like CMML, most likely they're giving you a contract unless you want to tell them, hey, we'll do a hot dog and a handshake and I'll come in for these appearances, and I should get paid for that. But if they want to keep you there long term for like a year and a half, 2 years, you're probably signing a contract. um if we look at indies over here in the States, the majority of the indies that pop up state to state to state are not going to sign you to a contract. It's a hot dog and a handshake, and hopefully you get $20 and up, and hopefully you make money at the merch table. Unless you specifically tell them, this is my contract, you sign it, and that's a way to protect yourself, your asset, and basically your ass on the indies. If you work for like MLW, of course you're getting a contract. In that contract would tell you like what's what, how much money you're getting, like how many dates you're getting. You'll just sign it. And like anything else, you if you can negotiate anything else in there. Other than that, like it just depends on like where you get your contract from. Not all contracts are the same. Not all contracts are equal. What I get in my contract will be different from like if whatever Denisha gets in her contract or whatever Hutch gets in his contract will be way different from like my contract and Denisha's contract and stuff like that. So the majority of contracts are not the same. Sometimes you know contracts would definitely be like, hey, we need you for these dates. We need you for something small. But again, it just depends. It just depends. Interesting to know all of Cross's announced appearances aren't wrestling appearances. I think it's a work. I'm just following and seeing what happens because it is because that is an interesting point that you bring up, LK. That like Cross announces non-wrestling appearances. So I can imagine if Karrion Cross versus Bray Wyatt, that would have been interesting. It would have been. And don't know if you saw, but Zack Sabre Jr. is going to face Nigel McGuinness. Yeah, I did. I saw. He won. He won the least interesting 4-way match. Yep. And we all know that Nigel is not going to win, right? We all know that he's not going to win. Because as much as it will be nice for Nigel McGuinness to get like super flowers, because Nigel McGuinness has done it all. What the hell? I thought I heard something. Because Nigel McGuinness has done it all. It would be nice for him to be an IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Um, it would be nice, but we know that's not gonna happen. Um, if the release is legit, Cross to New Japan Pro Wrestling, probably, but I don't. I think he'll get lost in. I don't want to say he'll get lost in the shuffle. It will be interesting, and I will keep an eye on it. But man, if he went to New Japan Pro Wrestling, um, he could definitely make House of Torture great again. House of Torture could be like a true heel faction without much of the shenanigans. Another example how TK doesn't know how to tell a story. Just tell a story how Nigel wants to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. in London. Yeah, but we heard that before. The best part is Nigel putting DG in. Oh my god, as his guy at ringside. Wow. Well, DG is you know, it is what it is. Um, And ladies and gentlemen, if you're over on the YouTube side of things, just know that in chat, the link to buy me food and or lunch if you want to, is in the chat. Denisha was so grateful the last time to end up getting me lunch. Anybody else can do the same. The link is there for the treats. There are different types of options. I'm not picky, but I'm just letting you guys know that the option is there if you guys want to end up getting me some lunch today. I think Karrion might do New Japan Strong in the California side. Probably. Probably. Even though New Japan Strong is a very short term money grab and not back to its prestigious form like it once was. It's just a short term money grab. It's sad that it's like that. Um oh, I didn't even know that was for that. I thought that was this is where I get all of them. Um okay. My internet has yet to be back. Um, yeah, I wanted to show stuff. I can't really show stuff on my phone while I'm doing this. I mean technically I can, but I don't have internet. So let me see what I could do. Noise cancellation is out. Set camera, flip camera. Um, I can share my screen while I have my phone. And this is the first time I have a total of 10 people watching me on Rumble. Hi guys, welcome to the Rumble stream, the Rumble side of things. Um, I appreciate you guys. Oh, one left. Oh my god, my eye. Um, all right, so let me just show you guys. See, this is what I'm working with. This is what I'm working with. Or maybe for him to get his footing back, he might appear in MLW again and ride that out for a bit until someone contacts him. That could be a possibility. I mean, if he shows up, I don't mind working with him. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to work with him. It will be. Um. All right. So how do I do this? How do I? So I can start recording and/or casting with Rumble Studio. Oh. It. Hmm. Okay. Oh, wrong thing. I'm trying stuff out here on my phone while I'm trying to think of other things to tell you guys because I don't have my freaking lineup. Um. Oh, if you guys don't know, I can't even. You know what? I'm going to try this. So stick with me. I'm going to try this. I have no idea if this is a good idea or a bad idea. Um, wow. Okay. Can I hold on? How do I share my screen then? Oh, then I have to go in and oh, that's not okay. I guess you guys can see that, but I don't. Why did it give me the option of doing this? I would like to show you guys something. Like I made a new hat. I dropped some new merch. Um, but if I have to share my screen, and that means I have to go through my files and look for it. Actually no, I don't have to. While the internet may be down, I have I have it on my laptop. Do I have it on my laptop? I got the logo on my laptop, but I didn't save. Great, great. I can see MLW too, but Cross seems too savvy for that. Plus, it seems everything Court touches kinda withers and dies. Eh, okay. Unless I end up do I have no, it's only in my yeah, it's only in my phone. And if I was to share my screen with you guys, yeah, we can do that. However, I should have took some damn pictures. Um, what? Hutch, can you please explain that first line? What? In what way? In what way, sir? Please explain that line. Like I work at MLW, dude. Like it's it's definitely not ratchet or ghetto. And by the way, I'm not angry or like upset at the comment. I'm just like, what? What do you mean? You gotta give me like something here to that makes sense, bro. Like what are you talking about? Um like it might be the one girl. That's about it. The one chick, but you're gonna have to explain that line to me, man. Um yes. Let me see. Um, damn, I don't wanna. Okay, I'm gonna show you the logo of what I made. I made a new hat. Um, it just sucks that I didn't decide to. Okay, can I show you guys this? No, that's not the original one. Okay. Um, Okay, so I'm flipping my camera. So this is the logo. So for anybody that lives in New York City, obviously you know 718 is an area code number, 212 is an area code number, 347 is also a New York area code number, and then also 646 is also an area code number. But 718 represents like the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens, I believe. I don't know what represents Staten Island. Maybe 718, but it's either 212 or 718. And then for cell phones, 347 or 646. Either way, there goes my name. So that way you guys know that it's mine. And then, in New York City, one of our like slangs, I guess it is a slang, is dead ass. So if you guys are, from New Yorkers, if you're not from New York, but was originally from New York, you guys can go get my hat that has 718 dead ass. I do plan on like expanding to like, different area code numbers of like New York, um really, only because like I don't know what other parts of the country have as like their number one, like, what is it, slang. Like in New York, we have dead ass, we have the fuck, we have other things. Well, yeah, some other stuff, but mainly like dead ass and the fuck you talking about kind of deal. But yeah, so the 718 dead ass hats are out on Fourth Wall. If you guys don't know what Fourth Wall is, it is the equivalent to Patreon, but Fourth Wall is for creators by creators, and the hat is out. And then, if you guys want, let me um let me leave it at my camera right there. Um, I created this. I was like, hey, let me create something cute. Your fave Marie Shadows. If you guys don't know, I started a brand new Instagram channel called Your Fave Marie Shadows, and written out just like this. And I created a mug. I don't have the picture of the mug because it's on my phone. If the internet wasn't down and giving me a problem, I would go through everything that I have on, my website on Fourth Wall. But yeah, I have that as well. Now we're flipping back to my camera. Um, Denisha, I appreciate you so much. By the way, guys, Denisha in chat has purchased my merchandise, and she stands by it and speaks on it, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone that decides to go to my Amazon and buy my wrestling planners and journals and stuff. Like, I appreciate you guys. LK, thank you for being here, man. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Uh, Sorry. From an outside perspective, it appears desperate. Oh, of course, seems like he'd go to his dying day and expense for all else. Change the phrase. Okay. Try. Okay. Okay. He's doing more than my league. I should just praise his efforts and success, honestly. Nah, Hutch. No. You're good. No worries. No worries. I just wanted to like know like where the hell were you going with that? I mean, there's things that both Dose Evo and I talk about when we review MOW, and we want consistency. We want the editing to feel like it goes between like there's a continuity whenever there is editing, because sometimes like we'll watch like the main show and then like the stuff next month you're like something if sometimes it feels like something is missing. So yeah, I get it, dude. What is it with today where nothing wants to work and the 5G signal just like went out? Is there secretly like an all-out, internet outage that I don't know about that just wanted to happen on a Sunday when I am supposed to be like, hey guys, come over, let's hang out for a Sunday? Like, what the fuck? All I want to do is just stream and like watch wrestling with you guys, talk wrestling with you guys, show off my merchandise, and like, get some love. That's what I wanted to do. And by the way, over here on rumble.com/user/Marie Shadows, I was so close to reading one of the ads. Um, One day it will happen. But so, like I was saying, MOW. I enjoy working with MOW. MOW has the best ring crew that I've been a part of, has the best roster that I've been a part of. I am always adaptable wherever they need me to be. And whenever we have Joshi wrestlers or Joshi wrestlers, their lines are really long and they get sold out. Matt Riddle's line is always sold out. If when Shotzi comes back, her lines are always very full. Mystico's line is really long too. It's a good time. It's a good feeling time. By the way, just a little plug. MOW returns to Dallas, Texas, September 13th. Tickets are on sale right now at like $15 a pop. And by the way, no, I don't get any compensation for telling you guys the next event. But like, if you're in the Texas area, I really do suggest you go to an MOW Major League Wrestling pay-per-view because it is very, very fun. It is very intimate. It is very great. I appreciate all of the wrestlers and like I really love what they put on. So again, like if you have any constructive criticism, of course I will, talk about it with you for like MOW and whatnot. And I totally get it. I really do. I just wish that MLW can have that consistency. They do have a consistency. They're getting, better and it feels better and stuff like that. But there's always room for improvement. But right now, like they're doing really, really good. They're doing good on their own, in their own lane. And the numbers just keep rising. The show outs are just amazing. This whole year, MLW had to upgrade their venues because a lot of people were like, hey, I want to buy a ticket. I want to buy a ticket. I want to buy a ticket. And those people bought tickets and showed up at the newer venues to accommodate more people. And I do think that is a plus side for MOW. With that being said, I just want to say across the board from Rumble to YouTube, I love each and every one of you guys that have been in the chat. I know that LC decided to head out. I hope he'll have a very good Sunday. Hutch, I appreciate you, man. Like again, if you ever want to come up and speak in the room the next time that I do this, that's cool. And Denisha, I always love you. Thank you so much for always helping out on either side of Rumble and or YouTube. The broken one, thank you for being here. I'm scrolling back through. I think was it Y2 Viral also came through. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Lion also came through. Roxy also came through. I think that should be everybody that came through. What I do want to say, and I want to leave this here, is that over on the YouTube side of things, thank you so much to Denisha, who is our $6.99 member over there, and also to Moon and Lady. I might have messed it up. But they are also members there at the $1.99 tier. Memberships are set up over at youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast/join. So join the family. Over here on Rumble, you guys can gift subscriptions. I'm still building up my Rumble, so I'm not even close to 100 followers. But if you enjoyed what I had to say, then by all means hit that follow button. There's going to be different types of content that are put on Rumble that are not going to be put on YouTube. mainly because I'm known as a wrestling content creator all around, but I do want to get into different types of content creation and have a different big portfolio. And I explained all of that in one of my previous podcast episodes that you can find down below in the back catalog on Rumble and also on YouTube, and then also on what do you call it? Spotify as well. So yeah, over here on Rumble, if you like what I have to say, hit that follow button and then also leave some comments down below. And yeah, we're just gonna keep expanding. We're just gonna keep doing what we do. And new content is coming to the Instagram account. Your fave Marie Shadows. You are FAV and then Marie Shadows. So yeah, new content is coming there. You know, ever since being off of Twitter, definitely gave me a lot more clarity, a lot more time to focus on the things that I want to try do differently and try to make new content and new stuff. And it's been very, very great. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching me for like an hour and 20 minutes. Despite our internet, well, my internet going out and then my 5G going out, because all I wanted to do was just stream today and watch wrestling with you guys. We'll have to talk about another day for us to basically watch wrestling. And we're watching wrestling on Rumble. So what I do is that I pause a lot, I talk a lot, and it's educational, and it's also under the fair use copyright system. So it's me transforming the video into something else and to be educational and teaching you guys about professional wrestling. By the way, I am Marie Shadows, and I'm the host and the creator of the Square Circle Podcast, Tape Study Series, the Crossroads Series coming soon. And yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate the conversations and stuff like that. I'm just gonna head out now before like the internet decides to fuck up again on me. But I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys that stopped by and hung out with me for a little bit. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to an episode of the Square Circle Podcast. I am your host, Marie Shadows, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.